Hey,
Hey Ali, is this the new one?
yes, this is 300p. I just bought it.
So let's compare them.
Why not?
Go. Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to compare these two models of NIU scooter. Ali, what do you think about them?
Well, as you know, we have been riding this KQi3 PRO for well over 5 months now. And I recently purchased this 300p. So for this comparison, I just refer to this one as a new one and to 3 Pro as an old one to be easier.
So first of all, what do you think about the difference between their appearance?
Well, there is not so many changes between these two, except this one has suspension. So this fork suspension, hydraulic suspension, is the most obvious one, and in the back there is some change in the fender and in the braking light, which I actually endorse. That's really cool compared to the old one that is more like, not, let's say, not like a toy, because NIU has been known as they are making actually vehicles, not toys. But anyway, this new one has gone even further. It's actually like a motorcycle. It's not even like a scooter, and it's really cool. So I would say, in the appearance perspective, it had improvement, and I really like it.
Yeah, I think that one is more flashy.
Exactly. If you are looking for purchasing something flashy, this is the clear winner. But the problem is that if you are like us, you had one of your scooters stolen, because we had another one of those old one. I said, oh, I'm gonna be referring them as an old one. We had one of those old one. It got stolen in like 5 minutes after we park it outside. So this one is like a thief magnet. As soon as they see it, they say, all right, I'm gonna be stealing this one. So that's the problem.
I noticed the brake lights are somehow different.
Yes, in this new model, they're offering you a bigger brake light, and that's really cool, because in the at the night, sometime when I was riding the other one, with myself, I was always thinking, am I visible enough? Can they see me when they are they are driving their cars really fast? So I tend to have another hazard light attached to my backpack. Always it was on, to make myself more visible. Although I do the same with this one, but if I sometime forget my hazard light, I won't be so terrified, you know. I know it is kind of more visible.
Hey. No, that's okay. She's so cute. Have a good day. What do you think about their performance? Because I think this is one of the reasons that you upgrade to that one.
Yes, it actually was one of the key reasons that I upgrade to this one, because the old one was supposed to have 700 watts and this is 900 watts. So I thought the difference would be massive. I say you can feel the difference, but it's not that huge, because there is an underpass I have to take every time I go back home from my work. The old one, I could climb out of the hill of that underpass with 29 kilometers. With this one, I can cruise with like 31 kilometers. So I say there is like 5 to 10% improvement in the performance. But aside that, there are other things that worth to consider. Firstly, this suspension. I can tell you, it actually a smooth ride. You can tell, especially when you hit some bumps, and there are lots of imperfection in the pavement in Canada and in many other places. Sometimes you hit a pothole, and that's really terrible when you're riding that old one, the Pro, because you can feel it. It actually shake the handlebar, and and potentially you can lose control. So
yeah, I can totally feel all the bumps of the streets with this one.
yeah, with this new one, it's not the same. It's, so I would say it actually worth it. And I hope it had a real suspension as well, because when you hit the bump you can tell, but when you are passing with your rear tire over the bump, you can feel it. It's a lot more subtle and it's a lot more nuanced, but anyway, it is still there. And there are other differences also. You know, I didn't actually pay attention to their braking system at first because I thought they are basically the same. But the first time I broke with the new one, I thought something is wrong because I wasn't stopping as strong I used to, and I thought maybe maybe I'm being paranoid. But when it happened like a couple more, I came back home and actually investigate this problem.
Yeah.
And I realized the old one used to have 120 millimeter brake disc, but this new one, they reduced it to 110. They must have done it to cut the price. And they have another one, and I'm planning to test that one also. It is a slightly higher model and it's more expensive, so I think they kept the 120 millimeter for the other one.
And yeah, we've already compared another model of a new scooter. We will put the card here if you want to watch that. And as you can remember, you just broke in.
Yeah.
You fly just in there.
Exactly. You know, the braking performance with this one, because it has suspension, when you brake with the front tire, sometimes it dives because of the suspension. I can understand they can keep 110 millimeter in the front because the last time I actually fly over the handlebar on the max,
Yeah.
because the brake was so bitey and grabby, so
Exactly.
I lost the control. And I think it can be even worse with this one because of the suspension. You can dive easier. So maybe if you are listening to us, you can keep 110 millimeter in the front, but you gotta have to change the rear tire with 120 millimeter because the braking performance is weak compared to the motor performance. Sometimes I can really tell I need more braking power. So that's a downside. Even compared to the old one has 120 millimeter, and you can easily tell that stops easier. There is another thing that caught my attention, is that this new one comes equipped with 10.5-inch tires. The old one used to have 9.5-inch tires. So this bigger tire actually helps with the bumps significantly, as I told you. But the problem is the center of gravity has gone higher and it messes with the balance, because in the old one you could tell it is like dead plant on the surface, but this new one, it's kind of jerky. You know, you may lose the control sometimes, so you have to be more careful with this one. That's like a sports car. The ground clearance is so low, you may end up grinding the bottom of your scooter to somewhere.
Yeah.
But on the contrary, you get better balance. You can turn easier with the other one. So in general, cruising with the new one is easier, but the old one has their benefits also.
Ali, I noticed that these two have two completely different type of accelerator. In your opinion, which one is better?
You know, some people I saw in the YouTube, they said we like this twist throttle better, so I wanted to put it into test. But I tell you, it is far more dangerous, especially if you are not familiar with the scooters or electric vehicle, as that matter, like scooters, like bicycles and everything, because sometimes you twist them unintentionally and it is really dangerous. And the problem is, when you sometimes twist it accidentally, it tends to jump forward and you want to hold them. When
Yeah.
you want to hold them, you end up twisted even more and it end up jump even further. I actually put a giant hole into my living room
Oh my God.
wall because of this. Because I accidentally twisted, it jumped slightly. I tried to hold it, I twisted even more, and I end up having a huge hole in my wall. And I was thinking, what if this happened when you are sitting beside the street, you are
Yeah.
waiting for the light to turn white and you can pass the street, you accidentally twist it. It can be really dangerous, and the control of the scooter gets really challenging with these twist throttles. It has some benefits because when it's a twist throttle, it's easier to maintain a certain speed because you're actually holding that really firmly. But when it's a thumb throttle, your thumb vibrates, so it's harder to put into the cruise control if the surface is not that smooth. So I say if you are planning to do like off-roading, this twist throttle is far better. But if you are cruising by on the pavement, definitely go for the twist throttle. That's easier, that's safer,
Yeah.
and everything. For me, that's a twist throttle.
Good. I can see that there are turn signals on the handles as well. This one doesn't have it.
Exactly. This is one of the new features that they added to these new models. I say it's okay to have them, but if I don't have them, I won't miss them. At first I thought, oh, they are super useful, but the first time I was thinking to use them, I was at the intersection, I was about to change lane, and on the old one I used to stay with the pedestrian and cross the intersection with them. But this time, because I had this turn signal, I said, all right, so I want to turn left, I just turn, I just signal and then turn. But I was thinking, um, I have to stand in the middle of the intersection, completely exposed, and I can go like almost 30 kilometers. I didn't feel safe, so I didn't do that. Again, I took the pedestrian.
Yeah, that's a wise decision.
Yeah, so having that is okay, but I can rely on them to just turn like a vehicle. It's different. But there is another thing. I hope they gave me at least the option, is that when I turn the turn signal, it beeps, and it beeps so loudly. I don't use it for turning, but I can use it as a hazard light when when it's raining, when it's like when it's foggy. So if I could just use them as a hazard light to make myself more visible, I would definitely use it. But now, because it beeps a lot, I can bear it, so I can't use it. I hope in new update they give us the option to make it silent.
And is there any changes in the battery and charging aspects?
They almost identical in this regard, but the only thing that they've done is that they give you a smaller charger, because the old one was like a tray. It is so
Yeah.
big. I don't know why they have made it so big in the first place, but this new one, it's slightly smaller, and they've changed the charging port from the side to the deck. They say it's better for being water resistant, and I guess it is. But the problem I have is with the lid. The lid with the old one is so easy. It has a spring that when you leave it, it go back. But this one, it's just a simple plastic piece, and I guess it can rip off really easy. So I don't know why they didn't keep the old design with the spring mechanism, but they could just relocate it to the deck. And but in the battery performance and everything, they are almost identical.
What do you think about the application?
Well, about the application, um, they use the same application, but when you pair the application to this new one, it gives you some new useful options. The first one is that you can set a limit for charging your battery, so you can set like 80, 90 or 100%. And it helps with the battery longevity. If you are planning to keep your scooter for a long time, maybe 3, 4, 5 years, it can help with that. Because on the old one, I used to do that also, but in order to stop the charging on 80%, I bought a timer. I used to put a timer separately to stop the charging on 80. So it is really beneficial to have it implemented inside the scooter, which it does actually have. Aside that, it gives you the autonomy to turn off the headlight. I would never do that because it helps with the safety. It makes you more visible and it doesn't consume so much battery. But anyway, as an added feature, it is there. If you want to turn off your headlight, you can totally do it, but you couldn't do that in the previous one. And about the acceleration, this one actually have two acceleration type that you can determine which one you prefer in the application. There is a standard one and there is another a little bit more toned down version. If you don't want to have like some sudden acceleration, you can set it to a lower amount. But with the old one, it's always standard. And I say, because the acceleration is not vicious on any of them, you won't miss it. If you don't have it, it's okay.
Ali, as a wrap up, do you think it's worth to pay about 40% more to buy that model?
It comes to your personal preference. If you are in a neighborhood and you are passing some surfaces that you may encounter a lot of uneven surfaces, and you are cruising on some bad pavement, yeah, it's worth it because of the suspension. But if you are upgrading just for the performance, no, the performance is not there as like 40% or 50% jump as the price had. And in the contrast, you are losing some of your braking performance that can cost you some of your safety, because in my opinion, safety comes first. So I rather to have a stronger brakes rather than a stronger performance. And the performance is not, the difference between performance is not massive, but the difference in the brake, you can absolutely feel that. You can tell first time you brake, you see it has gone weak. But in my opinion, for me, that's a no. I think it was a mistake that I've upgrade to this one, because I was perfectly content with the old one. This was, I glad to have the suspension, but it's not important for me, pivotal. If it had the rear suspension, for sure, but it doesn't.
Considering all of this, what's your opinion? You can comment your opinion down there for us. Please like and subscribe for the future videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.